Hey guys, welcome back. It is Friday. You are sitting on the hashtag MagnaOnAir digital network, MagnaSearchGroup.tv. You're probably wondering why there's all four of us in the studio today. Rory McMillan, President and CEO of the network.
Jason Berard.
Landon Hood.
Michael Flint, bookending.
On today's show, we're going to be talking about rejection, the importance of rejection, how important it is to get ahead in your life, how it's happening to each and everybody out there looking to get into the next position, looking to get ahead in their life, in their business, in their career. And it's a great show. I'm excited to have everyone here in the studio today. I think everyone's excited to be here as well. And I know that we've all faced rejection at one point in our lives, and we've learned from it. And we're here to share our experiences, our story with our community and our audience. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So Michael Flint, why don't you start us off, rejection. Tell me times when you've been rejected.
Well, the one that stands out and the one that was most impactful for my life is between 97 and 2003, I was a general manager of Sonora Resort up the coast, which was a luxury fly-in destination resort. Got to meet a lot of very high-end people in the middle of nowhere. So the insight there was British Columbia is magic, and the people that came there were experiencing something that they didn't experience in the cities that they were from. The biggest thing that I took away from that career is, if the property's sold and it's sold to a billionaire and I'm not on the same page with his vision, they're probably not going to keep me around, which is exactly what happened to me in 2003.
Oh.
Yeah. So the
where was that? Sorry, Sonora?
Yeah, Sonora. It's 125 miles north of Vancouver. You fly in by float plane.
Yeah.
We had 44 rooms. It was $1,000 per night. Mm-hmm. So the best of the best were there. So if you're a successful lawyer or you're a top performer in a sales capacity,
nice.
Very, very heavy on the corporate side of the business. And what basically happened is the guy that originally started the property, he didn't transition from a corporate client base to a luxury, high-end recreational client base, and he was overextended. So the banks came in, PricewaterhouseCoopers put it into receivership. I ended up being the manager that transitioned from one program to the next.
Perfect.
And we were successful in building a profitable business opportunity. The folks there at London Drugs and H.Y. Louis, they purchased the property, and I think 7 years later they've put probably like $65-75 million into it. It's the only five diamond property in the Pacific Northwest, and you got to be good at what you do in life to go there, because it's such a special, magical, beautiful place. The best job I ever had in my life, hands down. But
awesome. Sounds amazing.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It was amazing.
Tell us, when did you face rejection?
Oh, like all the time. I mean, it starts out early in life. I mean, they say you're always successful until you first get that rejection. Everybody's successful until you first get rejected. And, as a kid, even when I was, 17, 18, I had aspirations. I thought I was the smartest guy in the world. Grew up in a small town. I thought I was the cock of the walk. And so going into university, I had a couple, business ventures that I was working on the side, just working with my dad. I thought, if I write this really well-written letter to Kraft Corporation, I can get a job there, an internship. I'm offering to go work for free, offering to go out there in the summertime. So I wrote this very long letter that I spent probably a month on, talking about, my aspirations in life, talking about why I wanted to be the CEO of Kraft Corporation, talking about the ways I could see things going, and talking about, it wasn't just for the lifetime supply of macaroni and cheese, it was for a sort of different reasons. And you know what? I got a letter back, and it was basically just, thanks for your time, and it's over. And that was my first.
Who did you send it to, though?
I sent it to the hiring manager. It was for an internship. It was a job application. And I sent it to the hiring manager, and I did get a letter back, but it was basically.
But you wanted to be the CEO. I thought you said you sent it to the CEO.
I sent it to the hiring internship, and they basically and I told them I wanted to be the CEO, and this is why. And they basically got back to me, and they said, you know what, Landon, like we admire your thing, but looking at your resume, your job qualifications just do not fit. And I was just ignorant at that point. Being 17, I just did not realize that just because my job, but look at me, listen to me, read this. I'm amazing.
I love mac and cheese.
And then going forward, of course, exactly. And you get other rejections going forward. I mean, learning in your personal life, you get rejected. I mean, I've been fired from jobs before. You learn a lot from it. And it's political, whether it's personal, whether it's
emotional though. When you're fired from a job.
It's the first time you sort of get told that you're not good enough. It can be really difficult, and also, you look at it and it can seem unfair, and you can take a step back and be like, listen, it wasn't my fault, but at the same time, it's a learning experience. It's political, it's personal, it's whatever.
Interesting. So you mentioned Kraft Dinner, rejected from Kraft Dinner. What other rejections have you seriously faced? Throughout your career, throughout your life, Landon?
Again, let go from a distribution company. They brought on a new consultant, a consultant who was a friend of the CEO, and he was his former boss. boss. And
I see you, consultant. I see you. I'm coming for you.
he came right for me. His job was basically to determine, what was going on, how we could improve things. He had no idea about anything about the company, but he had the leadership skills. He was about a 75-year-old man. We did not get along, and after a couple months of me eventually being like, listen, you know what? You don't know what you're talking about. It became a situation where we sat down at lunch, and he said, Landon, you're gonna have to work with me, or you're gonna have to work against me. And I'm like, I feel like you're working against me, man.
Oh, man.
And that was where it was over.
Oh, man. Hey, the best revenge is success, right?
Absolutely.
So, Jason, tell us.
Yeah.
You're a young dude. You're a young dude.
I'm ready.
Young bro. You started a company.
Yeah, well, unlike these losers, I've never been rejected. No. But Landon kind of hit the nail on the head. When you're younger and you're growing up, like, the true rejection doesn't really happen. Maybe a couple girls here and there, but the area where I really started facing rejection and having to grow as a person is I started a company in Winnipeg and started university with one of my best friends and a couple amazing developers, and we created this app, and every single time there was an ounce of excitement. We blew up in the first 2 months. On a Wednesday, we sat down with the person who wanted to be our first advisor, some seasoned veteran that we were so excited to have on board. Right. And on the next day, it was the guy who was writing a $100,000 check for our initial capital investment, and just time after time after time again, we just got rejected, right? So we went down to San Francisco.
That's tough.
It is tough, because you get those.
Asking for money is always tough.
Oh, it's tough. How did you deal with that?
I don't know. We went down to San Francisco. We pitched, and no, and it's just like.
Was it the product or the people? Because a lot of times when you're pitching and you're looking for outside financial capital, it's there if they believe in you and your ability to drive it forward versus whatever the product is.
To be honest, I think the product wasn't differentiated enough, and then from them, they obviously know what they're doing. They're looking for a return on investment. They see 2 kids. Yeah. We weren't the Zuckerbergs of the world, even though we thought we were, right? So yes,
you dress better though. You dress better than that guy.
Sorry, Zuck. But no, we that I think the biggest learning challenge that I went through there with all of the constant rejection was just how you change as a person. And ultimately, I think that now what that's taught me is the importance of perseverance, and we'll get into that, but that's kind of when I really started dealing with the rejection aspect of it. And I think it's just when you try to pursue something that's hard, like there's no easy way to get it, and you're going to face rejection no matter who you are, no matter what you're trying to do. If you're trying to achieve something that's greater than what you're currently doing, you're going to face rejection.
That's the human journey of success, though. Like every successful person goes through roadblocks and challenges, and they have to evolve. And if life's an easy street for you, it's going to throw up some type of roadblock, because you're supposed to grow. We're supposed to be a better person tomorrow than we were yesterday. Yeah. That's the human conundrum.
Life begins outside of your comfort zone, is what they say. Yeah. And if somebody's just constantly never faced rejection, they might be naive, they might be ignorant, and they're just that comes with growth, not only professionally but also personally.
They're not grounded in reality.
Yeah.
How about yourself, Rory? You've invested in all of us.
He's the biggest loser out of all of us.
I'm the biggest loser out of all of them.
He used to be 500 pounds.
I just want to go back to Jason's previous thing. Is I know that we know each other on a personal level and all of that, and you were the golden child, right? You mentioned to me you breathed through high school, you breathed through college, you breathed through university. I know there's a lot of people out there, our communities, right, that they're either graduating or they're looking to get ahead in their life. For you was always what we call is mailing it in. You always handed in the homework, straight A's. Anything that you've done in your life, you always were success at it. I remember you telling me that, and so rejection started when you first started your company. After you started your company, and you moved out, you packed your whole bags, you moved from Winnipeg to Vancouver. Like, what other types of rejections really hit you hard?
Yeah, I think well, then when I got into this, which is corporate level engagements and selling and just professional working relationships, like dealing with that to start from someone who really didn't have to go through it that much was also tough. But I think that because of what I went through the previous year, it gave you the mental toughness to be able to go through it again. And I think that that's important. So when you go back to the people that need to be grounded because of rejection, the more rejection that you face, yes, it's tough, but the better prepared that you become. So I came here with a completely open slate, absolutely nothing in my pipeline. I joined these boys, which I'm thankful for. And, starting out, I was absolutely terrible. I was the slowest one to get going here. And I had to go home to now not living in Winnipeg and living in Vancouver and not knowing what I'm doing, and rejection. Basically, the walls feel like they're closing in. So if you're dealing with that right now, I get what you're going through, but I also think that if you can just train your mind to realize that it's all part of the process, then you'll come out on top. But if you just succumb to it, you're just gonna like hide in your own fears and just like
focus on the positives.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
You have
Mindset
to.
is a huge part of growth as an individual. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And being able to positively reinforce yourself in your own head so that you're thinking about things
Totally.
that you can action, that you can do, that you can basically mold and be responsible for, it makes all the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. So on to me,
Yeah.
right? So I faced rejection. I've had it many times. You know, as Landon says, I've been terminated from jobs. I've been walked out of companies, walked out of offices. Never really known the reason why. Never got explained the reason why I was, physically terminated. But hey, it's led me to the path that I'm in today, and I'm thankful. Thank you for allowing me to walk out of your opportunity to create this and work with like-minded individuals. And I first faced rejection, I think, seriously when it really hit me was when I was trying to get into a university of my choice. I started my career early in the golfing industry. I graduated high school, started in the golfing industry, and during that time I was trying to get into university.
Yep.
And it really hit me hard when I really wanted to get into Western University because I lived in Windsor, Ontario. This was based in London, Ontario, and I got the big rejection letter saying, you know what, your grades aren't good enough. That was it, bottom line, right? And I was like, oh man, like to actually feel like you're not good enough for something, for me, it like really put a lot of fire behind me in terms of what I wanted to accomplish in my life, right? I think that would be the key thing in terms of when I got rejected. I really wanted to get into Western University. I got accepted into college, which was Humber College when I was growing up, and I really wanted to get into the University of Western, and they had all the, the programs and, the lifestyle I wanted to be. I love London, and it just sucked, right? It really hit me hard, and I actually think that I went home and I cried that day. I was like, Mom, Dad, I didn't get into university. It sucks. Okay, son, don't worry about it. Who cares? Focus on the next thing. Get your ticket and get out of there.
You want to get out of Windsor anyways.
I wanted to get the hell out of Windsor anyway, and thankful enough, I moved to Toronto, right? And to really think back on my life and my career, if I didn't get rejected from that university, I probably wouldn't even be here doing what I'm doing. And that's how life can take you. So to talk about rejection is a negative thing. It's like, I'm a strong believer in everything we talk about this happens for a reason.
So opportunity. Rejection is actually really opportunity.
Yeah, it's a gateway, it's a door to more opportunity, I think. And I really got hit hard when I got rejected, but it steered me into the path I am today. I also face rejection. We face rejection each and every day when we put out a business proposal or we put out an agreement to a client. They reject it, they're not interested, your fees are too high, whatever that may be. Like, we get hit, it sucks. Rejection sucks, right? Let's be honest. It's people tend to take rejection personally as much as you shouldn't take it personally. It's uncomfortable feeling. It's an unhappy feeling. But for me, it fuels me. It makes me work harder. It makes me push more. And I'm a strong believer in that. I always want to be winning, and I want to be winning more, and I want my team to be winning more. So that's why I use it as ammunition. I use it as fuel. And I think if I could provide any suggestions or recommendations to you, our community, our audience, that are either looking to get ahead in life or looking to make that next career move, or looking to up their career, whatever that may be, is use that rejection as ammunition. Use it as use it as fuel, right? It's part of your life. It is going to happen. I've not met one successul person that has never faced a shitload of rejection.
Yeah,
I just haven't seen it. I haven't met it. I haven't seen it. We interview Lewis Spag, a multi-millionaire, and what did he say? He said the quote about, I'm the man that's the most rejected, but I'm undefeated. Right, so that's a powerful quote. Shout out Lewis Spag. Thanks for sharing our product materials. Thanks for sharing our content. And so university was the big thing for me. I really wanted to get into Western University. It didn't happen, but it led me to where I am today. So as one door closes, another one opens. The best revenge is success. Each and every person is put on this earth to be great. And it's about, are you willing to go out there and dominate the market, and where you're going to take your fuel, that rejection, and use it as fuel. And we also, on today's show, guys, I also wanted to talk about how did you overcome it? What are some of the ways to overcome rejection for you, Michael?
As it pertains to...
You just get hit hard, right? This is happening to everybody. Our audience is watching this right now. Everybody gets hit hard, where we don't know what's going to happen in someone else's life, but rejection, everyone's facing it.
The first time what was impactful and it was really obviously a life lesson I really needed to learn. I'm not going to lie to you. It was hard. Like, I took it really personally, and I couldn't quite understand, where the disconnect was, because when you're passionate about something, sometimes you can't take yourself out of the environment to see it from from a different angle, or see it from the eyes of in this case, of the individual that I was working for and I was responsible for.
Do you think a rejection takes time to grieve? Like, do you think after you get rejected, you need to step away?
If you're going to learn something from
recollect your
it,
thoughts,
yes,
grieve.
Sure.
You know,
if you're really going to learn something from it and be able to apply those lessons to life, you do need time to reflect and understand, maybe how your actions impacted that decision, or, put yourself in a perspective to look at opportunity based on what it is that you've done. We're not defined by what we do for a living, but it influences how you grow and how your character grows, and maybe what opportunities are presented to you, because it's like building blocks. And if you look at each one of us as a jigsaw puzzle, the same pieces and the same experiences are not going to or they're not going to yield the same result. So for myself in particular, I took some time to grieve, and I partied my face off because I got a nice severance, and I hadn't been in the city for a while. But then reality kind of kicked in, and I found myself in a totally different industry, which was men's apparel, and I was lucky enough to be part of an idea that was trending globally. It was different, it was impactful, and I was able to kind of incorporate my ability to interact and deal with people on a one-on-one basis, and transition into a pure sales role, which is really my forte. So I think part of my grieving process was just letting that time that time to take place, and then being able to kind of, I don't know, I guess be proud of what I've done, but still kind of move on and make a conscious decision to move on and take ownership of this new thing that's out there. And that's what I did. I really got invested in something new.
Interesting. Yeah. And I know, when I face rejection in my past, I've always seemed to lean on somebody that I trust.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Like, you always want to go to that, your what you call your safety net or a shoulder to cry on, like leaning towards someone that you can trust that can say, refire you back up again, right? Put that self-confidence back into you again.
Refocus you so that you don't spend too much time
depending on how
sorry
hard you're hit,
yourself.
right? Everyone's successful till they get hit, but until you get hit, until you get rejected, and until what's going to re-elevate you to get back up? I feel like speaking to your mentor, speaking to your coaches, a deal not going through. Your first three deals on Jason's desk don't go through, right? Process were followed. Process was followed. System were processed. Like, it hurts. It's an uncomfortable feeling, right? It's upsetting.
Especially when you're like,
especially when you're new, right?
No, but when you did everything that you should have done, and yada.
But so talking to trusted people like us that have gone through it, that's the point that I'm trying to bring up. Is talking to trusted people, right? Landon? Like,
you can understand,
what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, some things are out of your hands. You can understand that, and sometimes you have to make your peace with that. When you go into your career, you don't fully understand that things aren't everything isn't in your hands. So when things happen, you get laid off from a job, a business deal doesn't go through, and you feel like you did everything you could have done. Yes, there are lessons you can learn from it, and what did I do wrong? Really take a look back, take the grieving process, but also take time to reflect on it. But also, learn, be able to understand that just because maybe this was out of my hands, but on to the next opportunity, because there's so many opportunities out there, and
sometimes things just happen.
Yeah, it just gives you an opportunity to take a step back and be like, okay, I was doing this, it didn't work out. Should I be doing this? If yes, was it out of my hands? If yes, let's keep on going. If not, maybe I'm doing the wrong thing. Maybe I should be focused on something else.
Great point.
Yeah, I think like the big thing about overcoming it is that first of all, you have to train your mind to, like you said, Mike, focus on the positive. For myself, how I overcame it, like you said, it was the first couple. When moving to Vancouver, the first 3 months, a little bit rough. But it's one of those things where I just threw the coal in the engine. It was like, just keep going, baby. Just keep going. The biggest thing that rejection
could.
Yeah, exactly. The little engine that could, and you just keep trucking through. Because the biggest thing that rejection has taught me is that perseverance is probably the most important thing that you need to have in your sort of arsenal of weaponry when you're trying to pursue success. When I had the company, we didn't have any perseverance. Hey, you want to download our app? No problem. No worries. We'll just carry on. You want to invest some money? Oh, no problem. We'll just carry on, right? But like, if we had the mindset back then to have that perseverance, maybe we would have actually started to sell once we got the no, right? Not just walk the other way. And I think whatever your professional realm is, to get ahead, you're going to face rejection, and it's just important to persevere and not really get down on yourself, and don't let those walls come in. Don't be fearful of it. It's part of life. It's natural to feel the way that you do. You're not alone, and it's only temporary. That's the big thing.
Yeah, don't take it personally. Don't let it affect your future.
It's only temporary if you learn from it. Otherwise, you're doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past.
True. Yeah, I mean, the only difference between...
I firmly believe that.
The only difference between a big successful person like a Henry Ford and a John McHenry, who you've never heard of because he let that let failure get to him is perseverance. The fact that he went on to the next one. That's really what
John
separates
McHenry?
it. No, I just there's a reason you haven't heard of John McHenry, because he let failure get to him.
Yeah, he didn't let it affect his future ultimately, right? And I think
97% of the people are employed by the 3% who never gave up. You hear nothing but stories like even I know like just even think about books. Like Tim Ferriss went to how many publishers, and each single person was like no. Took hundreds of no's, took one yes to change his life.
Dr. Seuss was rejected 27 publishers.
I like that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
That guy,
What were they
yeah.
thinking?
right? Howard Schultz.
Green eggs and
Yeah,
ham.
exactly. Yeah, no, there's tons of examples. I mean,
Sam
you can
and
point to
ham.
almost pretty much
Everybody
every
that has
single
done
One fish,
something
two
in their
fish,
life,
27
yeah,
fish, three
everybody
fish.
that has done something in their life has been rejected. They faced rejection. It's like a band-aid. Tear it off, remove it quickly, get rid of it, and focus on the positive. Michael, great points. Landon. Amazing. Jason, thanks for being here. You're sitting on the Big Game Hunter Show. Hashtag MagnaOnAir, MagnaSearchGroup.tv. Check us out. Subscribe to our network. Share it with your friends. We're blowing up on Meerkat right now. We're streaming live. We're recruiters. We're headhunters. We're business experts. We're helping our community get ahead. We're doing whatever it takes. We're pivoting. We're changing the way we do this network, and we love sharing it with you guys. Make sure you subscribe to our iTunes channel. It's blowing up right now. We're blowing up on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Comment in the section, hashtag AskMagnaOnAir. We want to hear from you guys. We want to help give you guys input, advice, suggestions, recommendations to get ahead. And we're all here to help. We're taking the time out of our day. We love what we're doing. We're having a lot of fun doing it. See you next week. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Big Game Hunters, Mondays and Wednesdays. The Spotlight on Fridays. Thanks for being here. See you next week.
It's a big game!
Big game!
Big game!
It's a big game!